Kushida from Classroom the Elite has got to be one of the least liked characters in the entire series, and there's good reasons as to why that is. Now, for some clarification, just because a character is not liked doesn't mean they're badly written. Sometimes people tend to believe that characters that are not liked are badly written characters, which is not the case whatsoever. There are characters that are the most hated characters in anime and manga, but they're written well, and there's a reason why that is because you're not supposed to cheer for this character, you're supposed to not like this character at all, and they gave you reason as to why that is. Whether it's actions they've done in the past or actions they still do in the present, there are many ways to make a character not liked, but at the same time not have bad writing whatsoever. And that's what Kushida is. She's a character you're not supposed to like. You're not supposed to root for her because she's just a bad person in the series. And there's many reasons as to why that is. And I'm today going to talk about why Kushida is the least liked character in the series. The first reason is obvious, is the fact that she has a two-faced personality, meaning she's a girl behind a mask. And what I mean by that is that her persona is this nice girl who treats everyone equally and everyone can trust her, and she's a really nice person and she wants to be friends with everyone. But in reality, she has ulterior motives, and there's a reason why she has this two-faced personality. This was shown in volume 1 of the light novel and in episode 3 of the anime, in which Anakoji finds out what Kushida is, like who she is as an actual person. And apparently Kushida has a grudge against Horikita, which is not established in volume 1, but it's established later on as to why that is, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, Anakoji finds out her true personality. However, his cover gets blown and Kushida finds out that he was actually seeing who she truly was. Now, there's been a lot of discussion in this scene in particular during episode 3, in which a lot of people question why didn't Anakoji try to escape. Like, it was very clear she had no idea it was Anakoji that was seeing her, who she really was. But for those who have read the light novels, you would know that Anakoji is a very cautious and calculated person. It's obvious that he is thinking way ahead of others. So at that moment, he probably realized that he could get Kushida's suspicions of him off if he were just to come out and say that he was the one, that was in that spot when Kushida revealed her true personality. But back to Kushida, the reason why I say she's the least favorite character was during this whole scene. This scene started everything as to why Kushida was not liked. And the reason being is the fact that once she found out that it was Anakoji who was hearing what she actually was thinking and who she actually is as a person, she threatened him. She threatened him by making a false accusation. Now, I'm not going to say what she's falsely accusing him of, but if you watch the anime or you read the light novels, you would know what she accuses him of, which is a very messed up thing to falsely accuse someone. But Kushida doesn't care. Kushida seems to not really care, and she thinks that she has Anakoji by her hands. But in reality, if you watch the series or you have read the light novels, you will know that Anakoji is not a dumb protagonist. He is very smart and he's very calculative. So this scene just really showed you what kind of person Kushida is. She was a girl behind a mask who, everyone thought she was nice. She was this nice person who could not do anything wrong. But in reality, she was a menace. She was somebody who you should probably stay away from once you find out who she actually is as a person. Now, we didn't really know anything about Kushida's past as to why she became like this until volume 6. Volume 6 was when we found out what was going on in Kushida's life before she went into this high school. And we find out that in junior high, she was pretty much the same thing as her high school. She was trying to get other people's trust. She wanted people to counter her, but at the same time, when people were giving her secrets that they never told anybody but her because they trusted her, Kushida was getting tired of trying to be this nice person. So she decided to go on the internet, and I believe she went to websites and forums to talk behind people's backs. So the secrets that she got from her classmates in junior high, she pretty much talked about them online and talked behind their backs. Now, she could have gotten away with it had not one classmate found out that it was her making these posts, and when she got exposed, she decided to take everyone down with her. She revealed all the secrets, all the things that classmates gave it to her, and said it to everyone out loud in the classroom. Everyone's secrets were exposed to the entire classroom, and as a result, the entire classroom went downhill, meaning everyone started fighting each other. Anybody who talked bad about somebody else, they started fighting. It was a whole chaos in her classroom, and the reason why that happened is because Kushida just exposed everyone's secrets. The secrets that everyone trusted to her, she just said them out loud. And it is also the same volume as to we figure out as to why Kushida has a grudge against Horikita. And the reason being is because Horikita was in the same junior high as her. So therefore, she didn't want anybody from that school that knew about that whole situation to still be around her because she just wanted to get rid of that past. She wanted that past to be forgotten. She didn't want nobody to know about her past. But here's the thing, in the same volume, Horikita mentions how she had no idea this actually happened. In fact, all she heard was rumors that there was a situation in which a class pretty much went downhill, and that whole classroom went into chaos. She didn't know it was Kushida who was responsible for it. All she heard was rumors that somebody did this, but she didn't know who it was. So I'm kind of confused as to why Kushida is still holding in a grudge, since it seems that even Horikita had no idea this was actually true or not. But yet again, we're talking about Kushida here. We're talking about someone who made a false accusation towards Anakoji and threatened him, saying that she would tell this false accusation to the whole school. So I'm not really supposed to be surprised that she's holding grudges even after the whole incident happened. Another thing we find out in volume 5, which spoilers, massive spoils, is that Kushida was the traitor of the classroom. She is working with Ryuen. Yes, that's right, she's working with Ryuen. So if that doesn't prove what she's willing to do to get her goals, then I don't know what is. But at the same time, it just shows you how she just wants to get rid of Horikita. She has this grudge so much that she's willing to do anything to go after Horikita and get her expelled. And that's one thing you'll notice with Kushida. Most of her plans are just to get rid of Horikita. Like, she's trying really hard to get rid of this one person because of something that happened in the past that, let me remind you, Horikita had no knowledge of this. Like, she heard rumors about the whole incident, but it's not like she knew it. But, you know, whatever, it's whatever, right? But all these plans are just so she could get rid of Horikita. But another issue with Kushida is the fact that she's not very smart with her plans. Like, typically, like, people like Ryuen, Sakiyanagi, and Anakoji, they are very smart. They're very calculative. When they make a plan, they take extra steps to make sure the plan works. If not, there's always a backup plan. But Kushida isn't like that. She just comes up with a plan, hope it works out, which it doesn't most of the time, and that's pretty much it. She doesn't come up with backup plans or anything, and that's like one of the reasons why Kushida plans don't work, is because they're not calculative whatsoever. But I'll say this one thing, Kushida is very good at making connections. She pretty much has connections all around the school, in which many cases Anakoji uses in order to talk to different people from the school. So if there's one thing she's good at, is getting connections. So that I'll say that she's very good at getting connections. So overall, in terms of character, it's obvious that Kushida is not the most liked character. In fact, I believe that she's my least favorite character. But in terms of how she's written, I think it's very good. I think the way they make her think and act, while you may not like her as a character, you still want to find out what she's up to. Like, this character is a character that I'm like, okay, what is she gonna do next? Is she going to plot something? Is she working with someone else? Is she going to come up with another plan to take down Anakoji? And how far is she willing to go? Like, that's the questions I always get whenever Kushida is shown in a scene. I always want to find out, what is she up to? Like, what is she thinking? What is she coming up next? And I think that's how you make a good unlikable character. You don't have to make her a bad character, like so unlikable to the point where you just don't care, because this is what still makes it interesting, is the fact that you want to know what she's up to and you want to find out what is she willing to do to get her goals. I think that's one thing that Kushida does well, is the fact that even though she's not liked, you still want to find out what she's going to do next. And I think that's what makes her a very interesting character. Also, it's very clear that in this series they established that she's still a threat. Like, even Anakoji himself realized that he needs to take care of Kushida soon, because she is going to be a threat to him in the near future. So, you know, there you go. That just shows you, like, she's still a threat to him. He still wants to take her down because she could become a problem in the future if she's not dealt with. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just wanted to talk about this character because this character is a very interesting character from Classroom Dear Elite. But yeah, that's pretty much the entire video. I'll see you next time.